Hey, we're here at Treyarch Studios in Los Angeles, California. I'm standing here with Chris Bussey, who is the creative director on The Ultimate Spider-Man. And Chris, I gotta tell you, I love Spider-Man 2, so I'm very excited about this game. But where are you taking us that we haven't been with Spider-Man before?
We're taking you right into the comic book. We're hoping to create a 3D living comic book with this game, and we really think that we've accomplished that with this one.
You guys worked with Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley. What was that experience like?
Well, we wanted to, again, to bring an authentic experience, and so bringing on the hottest comic book writer, Brian Michael Bendis, and the guy who's penned every issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, Mark Bagley, was really important to us, and they've been hugely involved.
So tell me a bit about what the actual story is in this video game.
Well, the story is in Ultimate Spider-Man, Peter Parker is 15 years old. He just got bit by the spider, and he's having adventures, and he's just trying to get through high school and trying to deal with his girlfriend and his job. And the basic idea is, what if the idea of Amazing Spider-Man happened today, where Peter was, in the original story, Peter was 15, he got bit by a spider, and over the years, in the other comic book, he's gotten older, he's gotten married, all this stuff, but in our comic book, he's still 15, and he's still trying to deal with it. So in the video game, we pick up on those storylines where he has to be in high school, but he's battling a rhino when he's supposed to be in study hall, and all these things that go on in life.
So does going with this sort of more Marvel comic direction allow you guys a little more freedoms with the storyline and getting a little more creative with who you can introduce as characters and stuff?
Certainly. We have basically the entire Ultimate series to deal with. In this game, for example, you get to play as Venom, which is something that you've never been able to do before, and I think that anybody who has been a fan of the comic is totally going to be excited about that.
Are the web physics the exact same as they were in Spider-Man 2? They were pretty awesome last time.
They're basically the same. We did some tweaks to make it a little bit more accessible to all gamers. We wanted to bring in a wider audience, not just your hardcore gamers, and we thought that we've done a good job with that.
That's awesome, man. I can't wait to be swinging around in this comic book world.
Hey, you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
I've been playing this game so much, I've actually developed web powers.
What?
Here you go, man. Aren't you thirsty?
How did you do that?
Well, you know, you play the game enough, you get to know Spider-Man quite well.
Thank you for the water.
My pleasure.
Oh, that's very cool. I love what you guys have done with the paneling for telling the story. Tell us how you're working the comic book.
Yeah, that's a big part of bringing the 3D comic book to life. And we've got them, you know, where you'd expect, which is in the cinematics for each of the intros and extras of all of the missions. But we've also brought them into the game. And so while you're swinging down the street as Spider-Man, there might be somebody in trouble over on the side of the street, and a little panel will pop up letting you know that there's danger that you've got to go take care of.
You know, in a comic book, you get the panels, right? And the reader fills in those spaces in between the panels. It's not like perfect timed, you know, there's all that white gutter, and that's the audience filling it in. And in the video games, the player is filling in the story with his thumbs and moving the character around. And I saw the connection between the two, and I just started applying it to how I was developing the scenes.
The finishing moves that I saw in Spider-Man 2, you know, you're beating up on the bad guys and spraying them and stuff.
Yeah.
Anything kind of similar this time?
Yeah, we wanted to simulate that when Spider-Man is fighting normal people, that he pulls his punches. And so he's got to kind of finish people off with this web subdual move and kind of keep them in. Here, let me show you. Hey, John, you got a second?
Does everybody here at Treyarch have this ability, man? I think this is incredible. I want to have the power. I want to be able to swing around. And do I need a job?
This interview is over.